Well, howdy, all you collector car fans out there. This is once again Jason, the owner and founder of Southern Bush Motorsports. I really appreciate you coming by and checking on another Tales from the Bush. So this is going to be an interesting Tales from the Bush. So the big question is, are all the good cars found? My answer, nope, not even close. I mean, some of the super rare cars have already been found, but we're getting into where a generation of young people don't care about these cars. They're not going to find them. They're not going to restore them. So the people like us that are out there that still love these cars, well, this is a golden opportunity. A lot of these cars are still out there because, when kids inherit property and cars are on them, they don't care about them. They just leave them. And, they don't, a lot of the generations that are coming up now, they're not going to restore these cars. They love seeing the cars restored. I remember pulling into a private meet in a parking lot. I think it was a Walmart parking lot. And they had all these Rice Rockets and, Acuras and all these other fancy new cars. And I pulled in with a 69 440 Charger, and the whole meet just stopped. And they all wanted to come over and see this car. That's still out there. So are these super rare cars still out there? I mean, maybe not the super rare cars, but there's still cars out there. And people don't want to deal with the fact that they got to move them, scrap them, whatever. And there's a lot of people out there that have collected these cars over the years that just still have them. So how do you find them? I hope this can be a guide for maybe finding these cars. When I was out and I was in the business, I wasn't looking at people's front yards. If you're driving by a house and you see a 70 Duster sitting in somebody's front yard, don't even stop. They've put the car there because they like it when people stop and ask about it and stuff. That's not how you find cars. I used to go to world history libraries and look in old newspaper clippings. A lot of people don't realize that, but, the front page of the Tacoma Times or something, there'd be Johnny drove a 69 Hemi Charger off of a bridge and it went down into the river. Well, you know what? They never pulled that car back up then. Back then, they never pulled the car up. The car's still sitting down there. So that's what I did, is I would extract that car out of there. I would find cars through old newspaper clippings and old ads and old Auto Traders. Auto Trader is a guide to where all these cars are. A lot of these cars anyways. I loved picking up copies of old Auto Traders because it at least gives you some direction on where the car is. So this isn't about me talking about the pictures of the cars that you see or talking about, what you're looking at. Just enjoy these pictures. These are a collection of cars that I've found on other sites and sites that I've helped out with. Carsandbarns.com. I helped out them a lot with the pictures that they had. So it's just something for you more to enjoy and to imagine that, there's still cool cars out there. They still can be found. They're a little bit harder to find, but let me tell you something. These old coots like us that are collecting these cars for 30 years or something, we're still here. Hello, we're still here. We still have these cars. They're still out there. Fields full of cars, barns full of cars. We're just getting into the generation that's probably not going to restore them or take the time to do that, but these cars are still out there. And this is a good time for us to go out and find them. Because I'm telling you, it's getting a little bit hard to find a restoration shop that can do it. Kind of pushing a little bit more towards you having to restore your own car. But these cars are still out there. There's still a lot of good restoration shops out there. And I just hope that the future generations that are coming will, be into restoring these cars and stuff. That's a TA Challenger right there with the roof crushed on it, but it still is what it is, and that's what we have to deal with now. The great thing about it is that there's a lot of resources now in this past 10 years, lots of parts, lots of remade parts, lots of stuff to help you in your venture if you decide that you want to restore one of these cars. The parts are out there. So, when you take a look at this Chevelle right there, that Chevelle SS, that car should be safe. 100% that car should be safe. That's a gold mine. What a beautiful car just sitting there. This Shelby Mustang. The technology is now here. The online ability to be able to go online and see how to actually do it is there. So with all that stuff known, the ability to save these cars is there. So how is it we can do this? How do we find these cars? Well, like I said, one of my biggest trade secrets was going through old microfiche films of old newspaper clippings. But you can just tell when you're out there. If you decide that, one Saturday you want to take your kid out or you want to just go for a drive, you're looking for key stuff. Key stuff is barns in the background, maybe parts lying around that you can see from the road. A lot of these cars got pushed way back a long time ago because the people that saved them didn't want people to stop and ask about them. But now we're getting into a point where, they're starting to realize that maybe I should let some of these cars go. But I'm telling you, you may not find a super rare car out there, but there's still a lot of cool cars. Look at that SS Nova right there. These cars are still out there. Don't stop. Don't stop looking. If you've got a son or a daughter that's interested in the car hobby that you have, push it. Push them to get into the car hobby too, because I'm telling you, these cars are restorable. They're still out there. They can be found. The future generations need to learn about these cars because this is all that we got. This is all that we can leave them when it comes to this hobby. All we can do is leave them our knowledge, leave them our abilities and know-how on how to restore these cars and how to find them. There's enough resources out there now, especially on YouTube and such, and me and a lot of other people that have found these cars. Nice Charger right there, sublime green. That the future generations, this stuff's not going away. It's on the internet. It's always going to be there. They decide maybe they don't want 20 cars or 100 cars in their collection. They want one or two. There's enough resources out there for these future generations to restore these cars if they want or get into the hobby. Unfortunately, there's a lot of entitlement that's involved with these new generations, and they just want to make money without having to work for it. But there still are the young people out there that would do this, and we need to pass this knowledge. Look at that Judge convertible and their Demon right there. I'm telling you, don't stop. These cars are out there. We're in a great time for people that want to find cars because, like I said, the generations that are coming up now, they don't care about these cars. There's GTO right there, Judge. They don't want to find these cars. They're into making money online and crypto and all that stuff. But this is a great time to go out and look for these cars. But yes, they're still out there, 100%. In my career, I found 26,810 cars. That number does not include four-doors or junk cars or parts cars. Those are cars that should be restored, that could have been restored, that I found that were worth restoring. So the cars that are sitting where they are right now, like I said, this new generations that are coming up, they're not going to want to deal with these cars. They're just going to leave them. So they're still there, and they're going to still stay there. There's places out there that exist. There's a 442 convertible right there that I found. Car was super solid, rough as heck, but super solid. That car's a big money car. Pretty sure that says GTO the Judge. Pretty solid. Looks like it's fairly complete, maybe minus the rear end. Engine doesn't look like it's in it, but restorable car. Z28 Camaro. It takes a lot of work to find these cars, pull these cars out, get them stripped down, restore them, but it's worth it. This hobby needs to stay alive. Cars like this, piled up and like that, nobody's going to go looking for them now. Nobody's going to go pull these cars out now. They don't care about these cars now. You think a place like that's been already cleared out, that it's not there anymore? No, it's still there. You got to go find it. It's just so important that we don't let this collector car hobby die out with our generation. These cars are still out there. These younger generations that are growing up can enjoy them into the future. It's important. It's so important that if you have kids and you're a collector car fan, get them involved. Help them, show them how to change a spark plug and how to change a tire and do an oil change. And, the cars are still out there. We got to keep this hobby alive. If I give some advice for people that are going out there trying to look for cars, where are some big places that I found a lot of cars? Okay, I'm going to give it up. North Carolina, South Carolina, California, Texas, Northern Canada, Florida. Oh boy, Florida. A lot of surface rust in Florida, but the cars are still out there. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Nebraska. I don't know why all these cars are out in these areas. Maybe because there was money in those times, but that's where I find a lot of these cars, in those areas. In the center of the United States, the center of Canada, maybe not so much, but the cars are still out there. We got to keep looking for them. This hobby can't die with our generation. So what we need to do is we need to teach our kids now about these cars and the importance of them. Because look, 20 years from now, when you've passed away, but you've left your kid a 69 Hemi Charger, if they have to sell it, at least they can survive into the future. To put money in their pocket. The generation of people that collect the cars now are the key holders for the future of this hobby continuing. Teach your kids about cars. Teach your kids about fixing these cars and the value of these cars. It's so important. I appreciate you coming out and checking out our Tales from the Bush, and I know this was a bit of a different Tales from the Bush, but I just felt that it was really important for people to know that the cars are still out there, and we need to teach our future generations about these cars, how to find them, how to restore them. Thanks for coming by and checking out our Tales from the Bush, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you can give with the Patreon page, it definitely helps me out a lot to keep going. Thank you from Jason from Southern Bush Motorsports.